have, let us know, or if you have any comments. So on behalf of the WCPA, thank you for coming. I want to thank the Expo Committee, and they're all busy doing things. Carol Park, who should have signed you in. Buck Weisbart, who I don't see here yet. Eric Christensen, who's out doing the photo contest. They all worked very hard to get this thing pulled together, assuming we are pulled together. So we have a photo contest, awards of excellence. Shops can submit jobs that they're proud of, and we have pictures. You walk around. If you see Carol, you get a ballot, one ballot per person, I guess. And you vote for the best jobs in certain categories. The categories should all be together on the same table, but we sort of ran out of room, so everything's a little scrunched out there. Also want to thank Bill Patterson for the golf outing yesterday. It was a great event. Bill is on personal terms with Tiger Woods, and he endorsed our event, right? Tonight at dinner we'll have the golf outing awards, by the way. So if you were a golfer, I'm sure you won something. The Shade Sale Workshop and Seminar is co-sponsored by Trivantage and Polyfab USA. Thank you. Both of our companies also appreciate you coming. We have a powerhouse lineup of people here today. Powerhouse. We have Patrick Howe from Wholesale Shade in San Marcos. And Greg Burrows is the sales manager, wherever Greg is. And Patrick has been doing shade sales for quite a long time. He's been on both sides of the equation. He had a shade shop in Phoenix, which is where I met him originally. So he sold shade sales, he's made shade sales, he's installed shade sales, and now his company is a contract sewing operation specifically for shade sales. So if you're an awning shop or canvas shop and you want to get into the shade sale business, but maybe you don't want to do all that fussing around yourself, go see Patrick or see Greg, and they can make the shade sale for you to your dimensions and ship it to you, and then you just install it. Tim Aches, M-Panel Software, and if you want help with designing software or even engineering, design shade sales or engineering, they have the software to help. Jerry Margrave, Specialty Trimming, who's also on our board of directors, has been doing sewing for quite a long time. And he's going to talk about sewing and just a few of the things that the guys bring on their truck with them. So that's going to be a great value to all of us. We have Stacy Griffin from Top and Tubes, who's setting up over there. And they're going to talk about the steel tubing for the framework. There she is, that's Stacy. And then we come back to Patrick, and he's going to give us some tips and techniques for installing sewing shade sales. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask, or if you want to wait till the end, that's fine too. So after the shade sale workshop, then we have a lunch and market day. We were going to open those doors, just have you walk through, but a good thing happened. We ran out of room out there, so we have the tables next to the doors. You have to walk out here and then in there. So they're going to bring the lunch here, grab a sandwich. You can eat here if you want, and walk over to market day and talk to the vendors. After that, we have a social hour, and we're not sure if we're going to have a bar set up in the Pasadena room, which is down the hall and to the right, just before dinner, or maybe we'll have to run over to the bar, grab a drink, and then go back to And then tonight, 7 to 9, we have the dinner. We have a presentation for the history of Palm Springs. I thought that might be of interest to somebody. And the Golf Outing Awards, which is always popular. Not politically correct sometimes, but always popular. And so on behalf of WCPA and on behalf of the sponsors, I want to thank you. And please go ahead and thank the sponsors when you see them at the table. Reckeson's, Miami Corporation, Keatson Brothers, Trivantage, Sunbrella, ABC Sun Control Systems, and Surge Ferrari. So they all gave a little extra to make this a better event. So be sure and thank them if you enjoy it. And that's all I can think of now, so I'm going to turn it over to Brian Holian from Trivantage LLC.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, and it's his fault that I'm here 24 years ago. This guy took a chance and hired me. But the WCPA is a valuable organization for you, and really for two simple reasons. Number one, if you were with us last night, you achieved component number one, which is you're going to have a good time. And number two, you're guaranteed to learn something. So today's event is going to feature experts teaching experts. So the goal here is to get you to learn a little bit more about making shade sails, installing shade sails, the design of shade sails and so forth, but you know a lot already. So we hope that there's some positive feedback back and forth, and we don't want to just talk at you. So engage in the process. There's a lot of experts in this room. And lastly, thank you very much for coming, and I want to give a special kudos to Humberto Medrano. He's in here. Everybody promotes the WCPA like Humberto, and he really pounded the pavement to try to get folks to come here to learn a little bit more and to improve their business. So hats off to Humberto. He's probably out there sleeping somewhere after working so hard. So anyways, we'll turn it over to the experts and look forward to you guys having a great time.
My name is Patrick Howell. You guys all look familiar. We've had these workshops over the years, so you probably hopefully recognize me. But like Brian said, this is a group of experts, right? So we're in this together to sell more product, right? And improve your business. So I don't claim to know everything about shade sales. So if you feel like adding to what I have to say, please speak up. And I've got a pen, so I'll write your ideas down. I only printed 20 of these copies, so if you didn't get one or would like one, see me later or see Greg, and we'll email it to you. So the goal is the hurdles to overcome selling shade sales. Like when you go to somebody's backyard, what sort of roadblocks they throw up, and how can you answer those? So if you guys remember before, I'd done a top 10 shade sale mistakes to avoid, so I kind of followed that same format. So starting with number 10, you go to somebody's house, they want to attach to a tree. They think they're going to save money, or why not use this tree? So it's also the first workshop. I'm going to wear my readers so I can read my printing here. So part of your job is to stay out of trouble, right? You're in the backyard, the customer has ideas what they want. You got to stay out of trouble, avoid trouble. You want to try not to attach to a tree. Has anybody attached to a tree? Shade sail? Probably worked out, right? But
Extremely well.
yeah. So it can be done.
It can be done, but you have to be careful.
Yeah, it's not the first choice usually. So, in my opinion, using a tree will shorten the lifespan of the sail because the tree moves. Palm trees are the worst. It seems to be the tree everyone wants to attach to, but it's going to move. It's going to jerk that sail. And if you know shade sails, the movement is bad. Movement will make the sail wear out faster. So tell the customer, okay, we can do your tree, but your shade sail is not going to last as long. You're trying to build a case for them to use a post instead of a tree. Set the scene. Hey, do you want to be out of town on vacation? Hear that the storm's rolling through town and wonder, are those tree roots really as deep as you thought? Put that doubt in their mind. And since your crew's on site now already, it's less expensive to put that post in now than next year when there's a problem. Hey, yeah, you're right, I should have listened to you. Can you come put that post in? It's gonna be more money, right? So try and talk them out of a tree, would be my suggestion. Number 9, I don't want to post in the middle of the yard. I used to hear that all the time, and I've sold a lot of shade sails in the past. Recently, it's been on the wholesale side, so I don't have that customer interaction lately, so I'm kind of remembering back, but it seemed like I always heard, I don't want to post. I don't want to look at a post. Post is ugly, right? So, if you look at these 2 photos, the post doesn't have to be right here, right? If the perfect design of the sail wants to be the corner of the sail right here, you can put the pole in the bushes over here and have an extension cable, right? So when the customer thinks, I don't want to put, you don't have to have a post in the middle of the yard. Put it out to the edge. So you can see that extension cables work fine. All used extension cables. Another, right? I wish this picture was bigger, but you can see this is a commercial job, and to the left of the picture, that sail seems to come down into thin air, where there's actually a cable that goes between those 2 posts, and that's an attachment point. So, if you're having trouble, you know, I can't figure out the design for this, think about putting an extension cable or attaching a little bit off site, and maybe that design will come to you. Am I making sense? All right, I want it to be retractable. That's one of the bigger ones. Sorry?
We need pictures to see it, the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me your email and I'll send it to you.
Okay. Perfect.
People want it to be retractable, movable. Can I move it with the sun? You want to try and sell them away from that. Again, you want to paint the picture. If you put a permanent shade sail in, you don't have to worry about it in a storm. It's made to be permanent even in the hurricane territory. Permanent sail is going to be tighter, fewer wrinkles, move less in the wind. A permanent sail will carry the full warranty. If you have a retractable sail, there's going to be maintenance issues. And a tighter sail, even though it's not waterproof, will shed water better. So if you have a little bit of slope, a tighter sail is retractable, it's probably not going to be as tight. You guys have any insight on selling away from a retractable sail? No? Okay, I'm not sure how it will look. This is probably one of the biggest breakthroughs lately for you guys, is there's now really great software to show your customer what it's going to look like. So I started learning a different program, but Tim's going to talk about Insight, which is a great way to show your customer what it's going to look like. So if you're not investing your time and just a little bit of money into visualization software, you're missing the boat, because it's so easy now that there's no reason not to do it. So you got to have a software to show your customer what a shade sail will look like. You know, our grandparents didn't have shade sails, right? Probably our parents didn't have shades. So we don't have that knowledge that they've been around forever. So you have to show somebody a picture, usually, before they get it. So invest in that software. People wonder, it won't fit my backyard. I've got a small backyard. I don't have a very big area. I don't think a shade sail is right for me. And it may not be, but I had the opportunity to go to Australia, thanks to Polyfab, learn from a few shade sail guys there. And I'm not kidding when I say, if you're walking through an average neighborhood or average downtown in Australia, you can't help but see a shade sail somewhere. They'll put a shade sail over a little table for 2. They'll put it over a park bed, like really a small shade sail, but it's worth it because of the comfort that they get. So you guys know, why do people buy from somebody? They like to buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? That's pretty common. So if you have this background knowledge of, you know, you can speak about Australia, you can speak about different things, they're going, oh yeah, that person's an expert. I trust them. So maybe spend a little time learning how Australia. Go online, talk to Steve. Here's the biggest one for me when I started. I want one of those triangle things, right? You guys have probably all heard that. I want triangle. Well, they're the least efficient at providing shade. So your job is to really top them out of that triangle. And these little tiny pictures, again, these are of the same job. So from the side, you can see it has a triangular shape, but it's actually a very efficient shade sail design. So if the customer set on a triangle, show them some pictures. I don't have a problem when I'm with a customer to Google shade sails, even though I didn't do all those jobs. They can point out, hey, I like this, I like that. I say use Google when you're on the job site to show different things and say, hey, can you point out what you like? And it's a good way to point out that actually most effective shade sails are four-sided or more, not triangles. I don't want to attach to my house, but I don't want to pay $1,000 for a post. Here's where your expertise comes in, and there's a ton of good hardware out, right? Here's an example of all the different range of brackets and hardware. So your job at that point is to make them feel comfortable that if you put a bracket on their building or on their house, it's going to be fine, right? You have to sell them into the fact you're a professional contractor, you know what you're doing. Engineers all day long spec brackets into plans, so the fact that you're attaching to their house or their building, if done properly, should not be a big deal. So I would get, I mean, there's tons of shade sail hardware out anymore. When I started, there was none of it, but you can't go wrong with all the options that are out there now. These brochures are in high demand, but Steve, talk to Steve about that. Any questions so far? Am I talking too fast?
You say 4 or more corners on a shade sail. Is there a point where it gets too many corners, or is there a rule of thumb, 4 to 5 to 6, or is it just what you're covering?
I guess I would answer that question. You have to look at your area, right? So we've made 9 foot by 12 foot, very small area with 12 corners on it. So that's too much. That was too much work. It wasn't worth the effort. When you get to that point, there's other ways. You guys are all awning experts. There's other things to do besides a shade sail for a small area with a ton of points. So it's really what the area is. I would say once you get to 6 points, you probably need to hit the brakes a little bit and say, do I really need 6 points?